Gabor, welcome to the Leanpub launch video for a number of books that you're working on. I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about yourself, about who you are and what you do, and then a little bit about your books and what they're about and who they're for.
So thank you very much for having me in this interview or whatever conversation. As you said, my name is Gabor. I am self-employed for like 25 years now, and mostly what I do is these days. I used to teach Perl.
Oh.
A lot. But in the recent years, I mostly use Python and Rust. And so, and I'm self-employed, and part of the things that I do is teach programming at various companies usually, and at a research institute.
Okay.
So these Python and Rust, and also things like Git and Docker and Linux, all bit of these. And I also do consulting work, which mostly I think mostly in the US and in Canada you will call it contract work.
Right.
I call it consulting, but at the end I'm just writing more code. So yeah,
great.
So that's what I do mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've been writing and publishing books and a couple of courses on Leanpub for quite a while. But you've got a new kind of set of books that you're working on, and I was wondering if you could talk just a little bit about those.
Yeah. So I have about 10,000 slides for all my courses, whether it's Perl, Python, Rust, or some other languages as well, like Crystal, for example, which didn't go too far, and some PHP and all kind of languages and other course material. And for a long time, I in addition to the slides, which are usually examples and a few points of text, but not heavy on text. I started quite a long while ago adding explanations to these pages that when I teach, I hide these explanations, but on the website they are available. So people can read it, and these slides sort of can be also self-learning partially. It's not really a good business model because I put that all of them on the web, but freely available. But I like the whole being open source and free and whatever idea. And so I decided recently that I'm going to take these courses, divide them up into portions or fields or whatever that can be packed together as one subject. So I used to have like all of my Python slides in one bucket, but now I cut them up into, let's say, web application with Flask.
Right.
Okay. So and took these things and started to publish them as books. First of all, actually, I converted them. I used to use some weird XML-ish format. Actually, it was sort of a mix of XML and Markdown and whatever with my own preprocessor.
Right.
And recently, I started to convert everything to Markdown, and I use MD Book, which is a Rust-based project converting Markdown to HTML.
Okay.
And then decided, okay, I'm going to take these and these pieces, these things, and add a lot more of the text, a lot more explanations, so they will be really you can be used as self-learning material and can be published as books. And this is what you see. I think I already published in the last couple of weeks like 10 of these.
Yes. Yeah.
But I still have a lot more, and I put them of various percentages, which to indicate that more is coming in these books.
That's fantastic. Thank you for explaining that. That's actually kind of in many ways kind of like the ideal kind of Leanpub author that you're like a project that you're describing, where you've got a lot of content that like that existed in another form, like teaching, or a lot of it is actually people teaching themselves something as well that a book grow out of. But in this case, teaching other people. So you've got all kinds of material that you've been teaching people with. and then you can turn it into books that then anybody can use, and anybody around the world, whatever their time zone, can
Yeah.
can benefit from and learn from, which is just fantastic. And I really like too that you've got, different levels of percent complete for the books. That's another sort of key Leanpub feature, is like publish early and often. You've got something, get it out there. Anyone who wants, like anyone who's looking for like desktop GUI using Python TK or whatever, like if they find your book, if 10% done, fine. There's something out there, like that, wants something that specific that they need to learn. That's really fantastic. One question I have is, so you published a couple of courses on Leanpub.
Yeah.
Course feature. Do you have a plan to publish any of these books as like kind of courses? And for anyone watching, a Leanpub course is kind of like a book where the chapters are broken out into lessons, but then there's exercises and quizzes that you can take.
Yeah, definitely. The difficult part with courses, I mean, I love Leanpub because a long time ago, before I started using Leanpub, I was supposed to, or I agreed with someone that we are going to write a book together.
Okay.
But I made some progress, but I couldn't keep up with the enthusiasm without seeing actual results.
Right.
And with Leanpub, I could start publishing books with relatively small. Actually, that 10% isn't right. I should put a lot higher percent. I just didn't remember that. So I have like 30, 40, 50% of the material that ready, and I can already publish on Leanpub and get not just income, because that's nice, but the thing is that it starts to be valuable to people. Yes. And that gives me the push continuing writing the book, because that's sort of the difficult part for me, writing a whole course material or book without seeing that people already get value out of it. So that's great. With courses, I'm not sure that it works that well. Maybe I need to finish one course before it means it makes sense to publish, because it has I can't really put a video in the middle.
Right.
Like in a book, it's very easy for me to rearrange and make some changes and so. But if I recorded a video, I can't change now the middle 3 sentences to something better. So, sure. Yeah.
That's a really great point. And like, we've actually had our courses, kind of platform for a long time, but we're still kind of learning about it. Yeah, the idea, typically what we say is like, when a book is 100% done, that's the time to kind of convert it into a course. And one of the reasons is, I mean, of course, yeah, the kind of, if there's videos accompanying it, everyone who's ever done videos knows how hard they are to do, and that you can't redo part of one. You show up kind of like over here instead of over there, or with a different angle of the sunlight or whatever, and it doesn't work. But also, if someone's taking a course, like, the quizzes get automatically graded, right? And if like suddenly something's moved around, it kind of makes your head explode out, and so waiting until you're done the book to convert it into a course is a really good idea.
Well, actually, I do. Sorry to. What I do, and this is the way I do a lot of these things, is that when I start to prepare a course, there's nothing to do with Leanpub or anything, just a course that I'm trying to sell to my customers. It takes, even if it usually takes like 10 or 20 times the actual time of the course. Yes. to make it. And especially if it's in a subject that I'm not that familiar with. Okay, so it's a new library in Python that I'm not trying to teach now, that I have to also, new to me at least, I'll have to learn it first. And so it's a lot of investment. And so what I do is I publish events, meetups, and I give presentations about parts of the book. And then it makes me, it's kind of the way Leanpub works, basically.
Yeah.
That I try to explain that part, and it forces me to finish that part of the book or course material or whatever.
Oh, that's
and so that's how it works. I managed to work, yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because of course, if you're doing like a live meetup or something like that, then you're getting feedback instantly not just from people's questions, but from the looks on their faces, like they go like this, or or whatever, or they're confused.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really great. And I'm really glad you brought up too, one of the things about like getting something out there. I mean, I mentioned, readers like it if they're learning about something that they need to learn about. But for authors, just knowing that something useful is out there for people already, and then you start getting feedback and things like that, and the interaction with readers can really help, motivate you as an author to get things out there, especially people like, where's that next chapter? And it's different if it's an editor than if it's a reader.
I mean, you see, I teach at an institute and research institute where my students are biology and life science students doing the masters and PhD.
Okay.
And I teach them Python basics and tools. And I always think about them. These people are doing a research for several years, and then they might see some results.
Yeah.
I'm totally incapable of that thing. Like I really got into this thing that like the way CI works, even development works, but also with my teaching and slides and whatever. So I need the fast feedback loop. It's hard for me to like, okay, now I'm going into a project and I won't know anything about it basically for the next year if it's going well or good direction.
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean, and I hear that from a lot of Leanpub authors. Well, Gabor, thank you very much for taking the time out of your evening to talk to me, to talk to all of us about these new books that you're launching. It's really amazing. Of course, anybody watching this, there'll be links in the description to your sort of like profile page on Leanpub where people can find links to all of these books, and then there will also be links to all of the books as well. So thank you very much for being on this launch video.
Excellent, and thank you very much for having me. Bye-bye.
Thanks.